Hello everyone and welcome back to the Virtual Jewish Cookbook. I'm your host, Chef Brian Stepp, and today I'm going to be showing you one of my favorite Friday recipes. This is a traditional challah that we're going to be making, and it is one of those things that, in tradition we make on Friday for Shabbat. And it's a great recipe to know, and a super simple and tasty bread. So for this recipe, you're going to need flour, yeast, oil, water, honey, and 4 eggs. And then I will give all the recipe measurements down below and on the screen somewhere. But we're going to start off with mixing the yeast and activating the yeast and water. We're going to dump all our flour into this bowl right here. Make a little indentation for all our wet ingredients. We can go ahead and add our olive oil, add our honey. You can get a little bit dirty with your hands as long as you wash them. Now if you don't have honey, definitely recommend using sugar, but honey is going to give it that a little bit more of a caramel notes and a little bit of a darker, nicer caramelization on the outside once it's mixed. So we're going to let this yeast kind of bloom for 10 minutes. And all we're going to do is mix it in here. That's going to start bubbling up. Go ahead and break our eggs into this liquid mixture, almost as if we're making pasta. Basically, we're going to break the yolks with our hands. Start mixing everything with our fingers. Now we can add our water and yeast. And we're going to knead this for about 10 minutes or until it's nice and elasticy and it's come together. A quick trick to get all this extra stuff off your hands, just grab a little bit of flour. And if your dough's looking a little bit wet, don't be scared to add flour. It really depends on how much, the egg and the water liquid is in there. So this is a bit too wet, so we're going to add a little. We're gonna take our wet hands, get some flour on there, and then all we have to do is just kind of rub it off our hands, and our hands will be clean again. About 5 minutes of kneading, your dough should start coming together like this. But we really want to build a good amount of gluten so that it could expand nicely in the oven and ferment a little bit properly. So we're just going to keep mixing it for 5 more minutes before we're going to go into our bulk fermentation. And at this point, you can take out, do a little flour on the table, and you want to knead. So we always use the palms of our hands to knead. Push out, fold in, turn, push out, fold in, and turn, and just kind of have this fluid motion. You're going to form it into a nice ball. Take a little bit of good olive oil. Get that in there so it doesn't dry up. We're gonna cover this with plastic And we're gonna let this go for about an hour or two, or till it's doubled in size. Cover this up. We're gonna place this in a warm environment between 80 to 90 degrees, so your warmest spot. Now that our dough is doubled in size, we're gonna go ahead and take it out. And we're gonna divide it into 3 even braids. Okay, and then we're gonna roll each braid. And then we're gonna connect all the braids like this and kind of fold it under. And then we're gonna start to braid. And then when we get to the end, pinch it all together, wrap it under, pinch all of this together, wrap it under, bring it together. Take out parchment paper. Little cooking spray. And we're gonna let this rise for about an hour or two before we go in the oven. We want it to almost double in size again, but now it's already in its shape. We're gonna put a little bit of egg wash, and then you can either top it with your favorite toppings, or you can just keep it plain with a good egg wash, which will get it shiny. So now that our challah has finished proofing, you can see it's doubled in size back again. We're gonna take 1 egg and yolk, mix it. We want to get a nice brush on everything. And that's going to give it that crispy, golden brown and delicious outside. And then I love to top it off with everything seasoning bagel because it's fun. And then we're going to bake it at 350 for about 25 minutes. And if it still needs to go a little bit more, get a little bit darker color, you can definitely go for another 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, once we got our egg wash, we're gonna take our topping seasoning and we're gonna go pretty hefty on it. And then it's gonna spread out once it's baked, and it's gonna look amazing. So now that our challah came out of the oven, looks beautiful, golden brown and delicious. When you tap it on the back, it should sound hollow. Let's slice into this bad boy. Look at that beautiful, soft challah.